Alien ship was frozen for centuries in the ice until a human mechanic tried to fix it. Jack Morris had worked on machines all his life. Nothing too fancy, mostly engines, old rovers, and broken generators. But this assignment was different. The research team had found something buried deep in the polar ice. Something that looked like a ship, and not like any ship humans had ever made. The news had spread quickly through the station. Scientists argued about what to do. Some wanted to study it. Some wanted to leave it frozen. Jack just wanted to see it for himself. He arrived at the dig site early in the morning. The wind howled, sharp and cold, and the ice reflected the pale light of the sun like a million tiny mirrors. The drilling team had cleared a small area, and the metal surface of the ship gleamed faintly through frost and ice. It was huge, bigger than a small plane, with shapes that seemed impossible. The edges were smooth but jagged in some places, like they had been torn in a storm. Jack put on his gloves and walked closer. His boots crunched in the snow, and he could feel the cold seeping even through his thick suit. He ran his gloved hand along the hull. It felt odd, alive, or at least it reacted. Small lines of light blinked under the frost where he touched it. He stepped back, surprised. "You're not supposed to touch it yet," said Claire Adams, walking up behind him. She was another engineer, a few years younger than Jack but sharp and confident. "The scanner said it's unstable, could be dangerous," Jack shrugged. "It doesn't feel dangerous, it feels tired, like it's been waiting." Claire frowned. "Waiting for what?" Jack shook his head. He had no answer. There was something about the ship that felt different from any human machine. It was old, ancient even, but somehow precise. The edges of its panels were perfect, like it was designed by someone who cared about every line. The scientists around them argued. Dr. Reynolds, the head of the expedition, was cautious. "We can't let anyone touch it yet. Our readings show residual energy. It could be hazardous. Radiation, biohazards, or worse." Jack ignored him. He looked for a small access hatch. After a few minutes, he found it hidden under ice. It was a tiny rectangle almost flush with the hull. He tapped on it. Nothing. Then he pushed gently with a crowbar. The panel clicked. A faint hiss escaped, like air trapped for centuries. Claire's eyes went wide. "You're opening it?" Jack nodded. "I just want to see inside. Maybe I can figure what it's made of." He used his tools to carefully pull the panel away. Inside, wires and circuits lay frozen in ice. They were unlike anything he had ever seen. Some glowed faintly, pulsing in slow rhythm as if they were breathing. Jack's heart raced. "This isn't human," Claire whispered. Jack didn't answer. He started clearing the ice from the circuits. His fingers were numb, but he worked carefully. The ice crackled and broke apart under his touch, revealing glowing lines of alien technology. The ship seemed to respond. A faint hum began, like the heartbeat of a giant. Suddenly, a small screen flickered. Shapes appeared, symbols that made no sense, but they pulsed in a pattern that felt familiar to Jack. He stepped back. "Claire, it's alive, or at least it thinks." The scientists gasped. Dr. Reynolds ran forward. "Step away from it, this could be dangerous." Jack didn't move. He had seen machines die before, machines that failed after years of work. But this one, it wasn't dead. It was frozen, waiting. And somehow he knew it trusted him more than anyone else here. He worked for hours, clearing ice, reconnecting wires, and adjusting frozen conduits. Every now and then, a panel would glow or a small motor would hum. Claire helped when she could, passing him tools and holding frozen parts steady. Finally, they reached a large hatch at the center of the ship. It was massive, easily big enough for a person to step through. Jack felt a strange pull, like the ship wanted him to open it. He placed his hand on the surface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly the hatch began to slide open. Ice cracked, snow fell, and warm air, warm for the polar cold, poured out. Inside was a chamber. It was dark, but Jack could see shapes, consoles, chairs, and strange tubes. Everything was covered in frost, but the design was elegant. He walked in carefully, feeling the hum of energy beneath his feet. The air smelled strange, metallic, but also faintly alive. He reached a console and touched it. Lights flashed across the room. Strange symbols appeared on the walls. The ship was waking up. Claire gasped. "Jack, it's responding to you." Jack smiled. "I think it remembers something. Maybe it remembers its crew." He moved deeper into the chamber. Then he saw it, a stasis pod at the far end. Inside, a figure floated, perfectly preserved, eyes closed. The shape was humanoid but not human. The skin shimmered slightly, almost transparent, and there were lines across the body that glowed faintly. Jack stepped back. We should be careful, it might wake up," Claire nodded. "Or it might trust you." The room pulsed with energy. Lights ran across the walls like veins. The ship seemed to breathe in rhythm with Jack's heartbeat. He realized something incredible. This ship had survived centuries because it had waited. It had waited for someone like him, a human, to find it, touch it, and care for it enough to wake it. Jack spent the rest of the day mapping circuits, repairing frozen wires, and trying simple repairs. Every tool he touched seemed to make the ship respond. Faint humming turned into louder vibration. A small screen projected star maps, showing routes he could not understand. By nightfall, the hatch had fully opened, and the chamber was warm enough to remove his gloves. Jack looked at the stasis pod again. He didn't know who was inside or if they were alive, but he felt a strange connection. The ship had chosen him to awaken it. The scientists were divided. Some were amazed, some were afraid, and some were still insisting on leaving the ship alone. Jack didn't care. He had spent his life fixing broken things. Machines, rovers, engines. He never thought he would fix an entire alien ship. As he worked, small lights in the walls pulsed brighter. The hum of energy filled the room. It was as if the ship was saying, "Thank you for finding me. Thank you for caring." Jack felt a shiver run down his spine. He realized this was only the beginning. Whatever lay inside that stasis pod, whatever secrets the ship held, it was waiting for the human mechanic who could make it alive again. Outside, the storm continued to blow, cold and merciless, but inside the ship there was warmth, energy, and life. Jack looked around, knowing that by the next day nothing would be the same. Humans had touched a part of the galaxy they were never meant to touch. And somehow he knew the universe had noticed. He sat on a small ledge, tools scattered around him, and whispered softly, "Let's see if we can wake you." And somewhere, deep in the heart of the frozen ship, systems that had been silent for centuries began to stir the next morning. Jack woke to the soft hum of the ship. The cold wind outside was still fierce, but inside the chamber, warmth spread slowly from the walls. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. The panels he had repaired yesterday were glowing brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Every line of circuitry seemed alive, moving energy in ways he could feel more than see. Claire arrived, carrying her tools and a small tablet. "How's it looking?" she asked, trying not to sound worried. She had seen Jack work on strange machines before, but nothing like this. This ship was older than history, and somehow it was waking up under the hands of two humans. Jack smiled, a little tired but excited. "It's waking. I think it likes what we did. Maybe it trusts us." Claire frowned. "Trust, Jack, it's an alien ship. We don't know if it's dangerous or intelligent or alive." Jack waved a hand. "Look at the panels. They respond when I touch them." They were frozen solid, and now they pulse like a living thing. It's like it's breathing. Claire walked closer. "Breathing? Really?" Jack nodded. "Yes, I think it recognizes me. Recognizes humans, maybe. It's old, older than any human memory, but somehow it knows we exist." As they spoke, a soft glow appeared on the main console. Symbols flickered across it, like a language neither of them had seen before. The patterns shifted in response to Jack's movements. He reached out and traced a line with his finger. The symbols changed, forming shapes that seemed friendly. Claire's eyes widened. "Jack, it's communicating, somehow." Jack leaned closer. I don't understand it yet, but it feels alive, like it wants me to understand. He spent hours trying to trace the patterns, moving his hands over the panels and pressing buttons carefully. Every small adjustment made the lights pulse faster or change color. He realized the ship was learning from him as much as he was learning from it. Later, when the sun dipped low on the horizon, Jack noticed movement in the stasis pod. The alien inside was stirring. The figure's eyes opened slowly, reflecting the glowing light from the panels. The eyes were large, soft, and intelligent. They watched Jack carefully with curiosity instead of fear. Jack froze. He had never seen anything like it. He slowly waved a hand. "Hello, I'm Jack. I'm human. Don't be afraid." The alien blinked, then moved her hand slightly as if to mimic him. Claire gasped. "She's alive." "She's awake," Jack nodded, keeping his voice calm. "Yes, but we need to be careful. We don't know her. We don't know what she's capable of." The alien slowly rose from the pod, supported by invisible forces. Her body was slim, with lines of light running along her skin. Her face was delicate, almost ethereal but strong. She looked at Jack with an expression that seemed to measure him, understand him. I'm Sarel," she said, her voice soft but clear. It echoed strangely in the chamber carried by the ship systems. Jack's heart raced. He had expected everything, but a voice was different. "I'm Jack," he said. "This is Claire. We found you frozen in the ice. Are you okay?" Sarel's eyes swept the room. I am functional. The stasis preserved me. The ship maintained systems. But my crew, they are gone." Her voice trembled slightly. Jack noticed a flicker of sadness. She was alone after centuries. Claire stepped closer, her hands slightly shaking. "We didn't mean to harm you. We just wanted to understand the ship." Sarah looked at her. "Understand, yes. You are capable. Your species, humans, you survive where others fail. The ship recognizes your skills." Jack blinked. "Skills? We're just mechanics. We fix things." Sarah tilted her head. "Fixing is rare. Most species destroy what they cannot understand. You repair." The words made Jack pause. He never thought of it like that. Humans survived by adapting, by repairing broken things, by working with what they had. He realized the ship saw humans differently than other alien species. He turned to Claire. "She's saying we're different. We're survivors." Sarah moved closer to the main console. She touched a panel and symbols flowed across it like water. "This ship was lost in a war. My people, we fled, we hid, but this we abandoned. You have awakened what was forgotten." Jack felt a shiver run down his spine. Why would you abandon it?" Sarah's eyes darkened slightly. "The war, it ended badly. The galaxy, we left behind too much. The ship's mission unfinished. We could not survive. Only you humans can now continue." Claire looked at Jack. "Jack, do you understand what she's saying?" Jack shook his head slowly. "Not fully, but I understand enough. This ship, it was lost for centuries, and somehow it needs us to keep it alive." Sarah studied him. "Humans, primitive, short-lived. Yet you fix what you touch. You survive where others would die. The ship trusts you. It chose you." Jack laughed softly, a little nervous. "I'm just a mechanic. I fix engines and machines, nothing special." Sarah's expression softened. "Special, yes. To the ship, you are rare. To the universe, perhaps more than you know." For the next few hours, Jack and Claire worked alongside Sarah. She guided them to frozen systems and damaged conduits. Jack noticed that when Sarah touched the panels, the lights pulsed in perfect rhythm like the ship recognized her. When Jack touched them, they pulsed differently but still responded. Together, they repaired more systems than Jack had ever imagined possible. By evening, the ship's energy core was partially restored. Soft light spread across the chamber, and faint hums echoed in the hull. Jack noticed strange shapes on the walls, like stars and planets, moving slowly. He realized the ship was showing him the galaxy. "It's beautiful," Claire whispered. She had never seen stars like that, not even through telescopes. Sarah smiled faintly. "My people, we charted the galaxy. This ship contains our knowledge. Now it awakens again, guided by humans. Jack felt a strange pride. Humans guiding an alien ship. I never thought I'd do something like this. Sarah looked at him, her eyes reflecting the lights. You are capable. Humans underestimated, overlooked, yet persistent. The ship knew this. It waited for you, Jack laughed softly. I fix things. Machines, engines, and now, apparently, alien ships. Sarah nodded. Yes, you repair, and repair is rare in the galaxy. The three of them worked late into the night. Jack learned the basics of alien technology under Sarah's guidance. She explained the system slowly, carefully, and in ways he could understand. It was not like human machines. It was older, deeper, more alive. But Jack's hands were steady, his mind alert, and slowly he learned to coax the systems to life. By the end of the night, the ship was no longer silent. Lights pulsed rhythmically, systems hummed, and even the stasis pod that had preserved Sarah glowed faintly. Jack sat back, exhausted but thrilled. He had never imagined that a human mechanic could awaken an alien ship. Claire smiled at him. Jack, we did it. We really did it. Jack shook his head, staring at the glowing panels. No, we didn't just do it. She did it. She guided us. She trusted us. Sarah stepped closer. The galaxy will see humans differently now. Your skills, your persistence, rare among stars. You will learn humans are underestimated, but perhaps now you will be understood. Jack felt a shiver of realization. Humans, in their short lives and simple tools, had survived and thrived where others failed. Now centuries-old alien technology recognized it too. He realized this was only the beginning. The ship held secrets of the galaxy, knowledge lost for centuries, and somehow it had chosen humans to carry them forward. He looked at Sarah. So, what now? Sarah paused. Now we continue. Systems must awaken. Knowledge must return. Humans and the ship together. You will learn the galaxy remembers what is repaired, what survives, what endures. Jack smiled, tired but excited. Then we have work to do. And deep in the hull, the ship's core pulsed brighter, alive again after centuries of cold silence. The bond between human and machine, mechanic and alien, had begun. The first steps of a story that would change the galaxy were underway. Outside, the polar storm raged, but inside, warmth, light, and life had returned. Humans had touched the impossible, and the universe was already taking notice. The next morning, the polar storm had calmed slightly, but the world outside the ice remained harsh and unwelcoming. Inside the ship, however, warmth and light had spread through the chambers, and the alien systems hummed steadily. Jack had slept only a little, his mind racing with thoughts about the ship and the alien who had awakened alongside him. Sarah had moved freely now, walking among the consoles, touching panels and buttons with careful precision. Each touch made lights dance across the walls, showing data, star maps, and strange symbols. The patterns changed in response to her gestures, forming lines and shapes that Jack and Claire slowly began to understand. Jack watched her, fascinated. She was unlike any human he had seen. Her movements were graceful, controlled, and precise. Yet when she smiled faintly at him, there was warmth, almost curiosity. She was learning about humans just as humans were learning about her. Jack, Sarah said softly, the ship contains our history, our knowledge, and our last mission. My people, they died long ago. The war we fought, it left few survivors. The ship carried me, preserved me, waiting for someone like you. Jack shook his head. Someone like me? I'm just a mechanic. I fix broken things. I'm not a hero or a soldier. Sarah's eyes studied him. Heroism is not required to survive. Persistence, intelligence, adaptability, these are rare. Humans, you survive where others perish. The ship recognizes this. Claire, who had been examining the panels near Jack, spoke up. Jack, she's saying the ship recognizes us. Maybe even trusts us. I've never seen technology like this respond to humans before. Jack nodded. I feel it. It's like it knows we are trying to help. Sarah moved to the main control panel and touched it gently. The screen shifted, revealing a holographic map of stars, planets, and routes across the galaxy. This map shows places my people visited, colonies we tried to establish, territories we fought to protect. The war, it changed everything. Most civilizations perished. Only fragments remain. Jack leaned closer, amazed. So this ship, it was part of a fleet? Cyril nodded. Yes, a fleet of exploration and defense. We fled from a stronger enemy. We hid, hoping to survive, but many of us did not. This ship, it preserved me. It carried knowledge waiting for those who could understand. Jack felt a chill. And you think humans can understand it? Cyril smiled faintly. You already have. Your curiosity, your skill, it shows. Humans underestimated, dismissed, yet capable of more than you realize. Claire stepped closer. Jack, look at these readings. The power levels, they're stabilizing. The ship is fully awake. Jack nodded, running his hands over the panels. He felt a strange energy flowing beneath his fingers. The ship was alive, aware, and watching him. It seemed to react to his thoughts, his intentions. He had never felt anything like it. Cyril spoke again, her voice calm but urgent. The galaxy is not safe. Remnants of the enemy, they still hunt survivors and technology. The ship is at risk. Your species, humans, may be the only ones capable of protecting what remains. Jack's heart pounded. Protect it? How? We're just on a frozen planet. We don't have fleets or weapons. Cyril's eyes glowed faintly. The galaxy underestimates humans. You adapt, you survive. The ship, it will show you how. Systems, knowledge, strategies, you will learn. Your persistence will become your strength. Jack looked at Claire. I don't know if we're ready for this. Claire shook her head, her eyes serious. We don't have a choice. The ship is awake. It's alive. If we don't learn, it could be lost again. Cyril nodded. Then we begin. First, you must understand the ship. Feel its energy, know its systems. Touch, repair, interact. Only then can we face what is coming. For the next several hours, Jack and Claire worked under Cyril's guidance. She showed them how to read the alien consoles, how to reroute energy, how to repair circuits that had been frozen for centuries. Jack was amazed at how the ship responded to human hands. Small hums of recognition ran through the walls whenever he fixed a conduit or adjusted a panel. It was as if the ship understood his intentions and rewarded his care with light, warmth, and power. Cyril moved among the chambers, occasionally stopping to touch a panel or read a holographic display. Each gesture made the ship react. Jack noticed that when she and he touched the same panel together, the lights pulsed in perfect rhythm, as if the ship recognized cooperation. Humans, you are strange, Cyril said softly one evening. So fragile, so short-lived, yet capable of persistence that lasts longer than you know. The galaxy often overlooks your kind, but the ship, it sees truth. You survive where others fail. Jack smiled, tired but proud. We don't give up easily, that's all. Cyril studied him carefully. Not just persistence, creativity, intelligence. You repair what is broken, adapt to circumstances, survive. Most species destroy what they cannot control. Humans, you fix. Claire laughed softly. We do fix things. Mostly engines, machines, rovers. Never thought we'd fix an alien ship. Cyril smiled faintly. And yet you have. The ship would not awaken for most species. It waited for you. Humans, unexpected, underestimated, yet capable. As the days passed, Jack learned more about the ship. The systems were complex, yet somehow logical. Energy flowed through conduits like liquid, responding to touch and thought. Consoles displayed star maps, galactic histories, and coordinates to distant worlds. Jack traced lines and repaired connections, each small success making the ship hum and pulse with energy. Cyril showed him a large chamber filled with stasis pods. Most were empty, broken, or inactive. A few contained fragments of alien biology, preserved but damaged. These are remnants of my crew, she said softly. My people, most did not survive. The ship preserved what it could. I survived because of its choice. Now humans may help it continue. Jack nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and responsibility. I never thought a human could be part of something like this. It's amazing. Cyril studied him. Amazing, yes. Humans underestimated, yet capable of more than you know. The galaxy will notice. If you survive what is coming. Jack frowned. What is coming? Cyril's eyes darkened slightly. The enemy, remnants of the war, they search for lost technology. Ships like this one, knowledge like ours, they want it. The galaxy still remembers war. Humans and the ship will need to be careful. Claire stepped closer. We'll protect it. We have to, Cyril nodded. You will learn, humans capable, strong, persistent, yet untested in space. The ship will guide you, the knowledge will teach you, and together we may survive. That night Jack sat alone in a small observation chamber, staring at the frozen landscape outside. The ice stretched for miles, cold and unbroken. Yet inside the ship was alive, pulsing, breathing. He realized that the galaxy beyond this frozen planet was vast, dangerous, and unknown. Humans were small, fragile, yet they had been chosen to awaken something far older than themselves. He looked at the glowing panels, feeling the hum of energy under his fingers. I never thought I'd be part of something like this, he whispered to himself. But somehow I am. Cyril approached quietly, standing beside him. Humans, you understand. Even now you adapt. The ship it trusts you, and so do I. Jack smiled faintly. We'll do our best. We have to, Cyril nodded. The galaxy will be different because of humans. Unexpected, underestimated, yet capable of more than you realize. The ship will guide you, and together, humans and alien knowledge may survive where others fail. As the ship hummed and lights pulsed around them, Jack felt a strange mix of pride, fear, and excitement. Humans had touched something ancient, something older than any history book, and it had responded. The ship had chosen them, and somehow, Jack knew that their lives and the galaxy itself would never be the same again. Outside, the ice and wind raged, but inside, warmth, light, and life had returned. Humans had awakened a story long forgotten, and the first steps of a journey that could change the galaxy had begun. The days passed quickly inside the ship. Jack and Claire worked alongside Cyril, learning more about the alien technology and slowly repairing systems that had been frozen for centuries. The hum of energy filled the chambers, and lights pulsed in rhythm with Jack's movements. Every touch seemed to bring life back into the ship. It was no longer just metal and circuits, it felt alive. Cyril showed them the main control room, a large circular chamber with panels running along the walls. Stars, planets, and unknown coordinates glowed on holographic displays. Jack reached out and ran his fingers over the panels. Energy flowed beneath his touch. The ship seemed to respond to his intentions, guiding his hands as he worked. Jack, see this? Claire said, pointing to a series of glowing symbols. It's like the ship is giving us instructions, almost like a manual. Jack nodded. Or maybe it's testing us, seeing if we can understand. Cyril moved closer. It is more than a test. The ship remembers its mission. The galaxy, it is not safe. Remnants of the war, they still hunt what survives. The ship, your presence awakened it. Now it is visible to others. Jack's heart sank. Others who? Cyril's eyes darkened. The enemy we fled. They are still searching for ships like this. Knowledge like ours. My people, many were destroyed. The galaxy, they still hunt technology from our time. Now humans and this ship may be at risk. Claire swallowed hard. We can't just leave it here. We have to do something. Cyril nodded. Yes, the ship contains information that could change the balance of power. If it falls, the enemy will use it. Humans, you are capable, persistent. Perhaps the only species able to protect what remains. Jack rubbed his face. Protect it. We don't even have a fleet. We're stuck on a frozen planet. Cyril placed her hand on the main console. Lights flowed through her fingers and Jack saw patterns forming in the holograms. The ship can help. Humans learn quickly. It will teach you to defend what is necessary. The galaxy underestimated humans. You survive where others fail. Over the next days, Jack and Claire repaired the ship's navigation systems, engines, and energy cores. Cyril guided them, explaining each function carefully. Jack noticed that the ship reacted differently to human touch than to alien gestures. It was learning from humans, adapting, responding. One evening, as the pale light of the polar sun faded, Jack sat at a control panel studying the star maps. He noticed something strange, a series of signals approaching their location, satellites, probes, or perhaps ships. The readings were faint but unmistakable. "Claire, look at this," he said, pointing to the console. "Something is coming. It's not local, it's not human." Claire frowned, leaning over his shoulder. "What do we do? We're not ready for combat." Cyril stepped forward, her expression serious. "This is the enemy, remnants of the war. They have detected the ship. It was hidden for centuries, but your activity awakened sensors across the system. They are coming." Jack's pulse quickened. "Coming? How soon?" Cyril's eyes glowed faintly. "Hours, maybe a day. They will arrive before you can fully understand the ship's capabilities. You humans must act quickly. The ship will teach you, but it will not protect you completely. You must make decisions, adapt, survive." Jack swallowed. "We can't just fight them. We don't have weapons like that." Cyril nodded. "No, humans are fragile. Yet you have strengths the galaxy does not expect. Creativity, persistence, adaptability. The ship will guide your hands. You will find ways to defend it." Over the next hours, Jack and Claire worked feverishly. The ship projected schematics and defense patterns across the room. Engines were calibrated for maximum efficiency, energy shields rerouted, and panels repaired. Jack ran along conduits, rerouting power manually, while Claire stabilized failing circuits. Each success made the ship hum louder, pulsing with energy. Cyril guided them in the alien language of systems, teaching them strategies for defense and navigation. She showed them how to use the ship's energy cores to create barriers, to amplify signals, and even to mislead approaching enemies. Jack had never imagined humans could understand technology so alien, yet under Cyril's guidance, they adapted quickly. As night fell, the sensors indicated the enemy fleet was closer. Faint glimmers of metal and energy appeared on the long-range scanners. Jack ran to the main console, tracing lines and adjusting circuits. He felt a strange confidence. Humans were underestimated for a reason. They survived when others failed. "Jack, you are capable," Cyril said quietly. "The ship trusts you. It chose you for this reason." Jack shook his head, feeling both fear and determination. "I don't know if I can do this. But we have to try. We have no choice." Claire placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're in this together. Humans survive by working together." Cyril nodded. "The galaxy will see this. The enemy, they will learn that humans are not as weak as they think. You may change the balance." Jack worked through the night, following Cyril's guidance. He repaired broken energy conduits, adjusted shield matrices, and stabilized the engines. The ship pulsed with life, responding to every touch. Outside, the ice reflected faint glimmers of approaching vessels. The enemy was real and they were closing in. As dawn approached, the first attack came. Small energy probes hit the ice, causing explosions in the distance. The station shook. Jack and Claire ran to the control panels, guided by Cyril. The ship responded, activating shields and projecting false signals to mislead the attackers. "Jack, reroute energy to the main shields," Cyril commanded. Jack moved quickly, his hands flying over the panels. Circuits hummed and sparks flew. The ship pulsed with energy as the shields strengthened. Probes hit the barriers and were deflected harmlessly. Claire adjusted the secondary conduits, stabilizing power fluctuations. "We're holding for now," she shouted, "but more are coming." Cyril touched the main console, sending pulses of light through the ship systems. "Humans, you are learning. Persistence, intelligence, your hands guide the ship. You are capable. Now survive. Jack took a deep breath, feeling fear and determination together. We survive. We have to. This ship, it's our responsibility now. The attacks continued throughout the day. The enemy probes were relentless, but Jack, Claire, and Cyril adapted. Each time a probe hit, Jack rerouted energy, repaired damaged conduits, and kept the ship alive. The alien intelligence pulsed with recognition and approval. It seemed to understand human ingenuity, the way they solved problems in real time. By evening, the enemy withdrew slightly. They had tested the ship and humans, but the defenses held. Jack and Claire were exhausted, covered in sweat and grime, yet proud. The ship hummed steadily, lights pulsing in rhythm with their own heartbeat. Cyril approached Jack. Humans, you have proven capable. The ship survives because of your hands. The enemy, they will return. The galaxy remembers the war, but humans underestimated, dismissed, can endure where others fail. Jack nodded, exhausted but resolute. We'll keep it safe. We'll learn, we'll adapt, we'll survive. We have to. Claire smiled faintly. Humans and this ship, together. We can do it. Cyril's eyes glowed softly. Together, yes, the galaxy will notice. Humans repair, adapt, survive. Now we prepare, more will come. The ship and humans must be ready. Outside, the polar night deepened, the wind howling across the ice. Inside, the ship pulsed with life, warmth, and energy. Humans had faced their first real threat and survived. They had learned to guide an alien intelligence, to adapt, and to endure. Jack looked around at the glowing panels, at Claire and Cyril. He realized that humans were no longer just fragile beings on a frozen planet. They were part of something greater. They were survivors, protectors, and perhaps the galaxy's last hope. The journey was far from over. Dangers awaited, enemies would return, and the universe would test them further. But for now, humans and the ship had survived. And in surviving, they had begun to change the story of the galaxy itself. The polar night stretched across the ice, cold and endless. But inside the alien ship, warmth and light pulsed steadily. Jack, Claire, and Cyril had worked tirelessly for days, repairing, learning, and preparing. The first wave of enemy probes had retreated, but their presence lingered. The galaxy still remembered the war, and the enemy would not stop. Jack stood at the main console, staring at the star maps. The coordinates of distant systems glowed, showing the paths the ship could take. Cyril, if we launch, can we escape them? Cyril's eyes glowed softly. Yes, the engines are fully operational. The ship's systems, they respond to humans. The galaxy underestimated your kind. Now it will see your strength. Claire placed a hand on Jack's shoulder. We've learned quickly. We know how to guide the ship. We can do this. Jack nodded. He felt exhaustion but also determination. Humans had survived worse than cold, worse than storms. Now they had a chance to survive in the stars. Cyril guided them through the launch sequence. Panels lit up, energy flowed through conduits, and shields activated. Jack and Claire moved in rhythm with the ship, following instructions, rerouting power, and adjusting systems in real time. The alien intelligence responded to their touch, amplifying their actions, reacting to their thoughts. Jack, reroute energy to the main thrusters. Claire stabilized the shield arrays. I will monitor the enemy sensors, Cyril commanded. Jack moved quickly, hands flying over the consoles. Circuits hummed, engines powered up, and the ship vibrated with energy. Outside, the ice cracked beneath the hull as the engines prepared for launch. Claire stabilized the shields, watching the energy pulses. We're holding it together. The ship, it's alive. It's responding. Cyril nodded. Yes, humans, your hands guide the ship. Your persistence, your creativity, it is recognized. Suddenly, the enemy returned. Larger vessels appeared on long-range sensors, moving toward the polar station. Jack's heart raced. They're back and closer. Cyril's voice was calm but firm. Then we launch now. Humans, trust the ship. It will respond to your guidance. We survive together. Jack nodded. He took a deep breath. Engage launch sequence. The engines roared, the ship shook, ice cracking beneath them. Lights pulsed, energy flowed, and the hull lifted slowly. Outside, the frozen landscape fell away as the ship rose, shaking off centuries of ice and snow. The enemy fired, energy beams cutting through the night. The ship's shields flared, deflecting the attacks. Jack and Claire worked quickly, adjusting power distribution, keeping the engine stable and guiding the vessel through the storm of fire. Cyril's hands moved over the panels, sending pulses of energy through the ship. Humans, the enemy underestimates you. They do not know your strength, the galaxy will see. Jack gritted his teeth, rerouting energy again. We're not giving up, we survive, we protect the ship. Claire guided the shields, her fingers flying over the consoles. The ship is responding, we're holding them off. Outside, the enemy vessels began to retreat, unable to break the human-guided defenses. Jack realized that humans, small and fragile, had outsmarted the enemy not with weapons, but with persistence, creativity, and courage. Cyril turned to them, her eyes glowing softly. The galaxy will remember this day. Humans, you have proven capable. The ship will carry knowledge, history, and strength guided by your hands. Jack smiled, tired but proud. We did it, we're alive, and the ship is alive too, Claire nodded. Humans and the ship together. Nothing can stop us now. Cyril moved to the navigation console. The stars await. Systems we once visited, knowledge we preserved. Humans will now guide the ship to them. The galaxy underestimated your kind. Now it will see. Jack adjusted the controls, following the ship's rhythm. Energy flowed through the engines, lights pulsed in response, and the vessel moved gracefully through the sky. They had left the frozen planet behind, rising into the unknown, carrying centuries of alien knowledge. As they traveled through space, the ship began to display holographic histories of the ancient war, lost civilizations, and hidden technologies. Jack and Claire absorbed the information, amazed at the complexity and depth. Humans had never encountered such knowledge, yet they understood enough to continue the mission. Cyril guided them gently. Learn, humans, adapt, survive. The galaxy will test you further, but now you are recognized. Your persistence, your creativity, your courage is known. Jack looked at her. We'll do our best. Humans always do. We survive, we adapt, we protect. That's who we are, Claire smiled. And now the universe will see it too. The ship pulsed with energy as if acknowledging their words. Systems flowed in harmony with human hands, guiding the vessel through the stars. The enemy fleet that had pursued them was gone, unable to match the unexpected strength and ingenuity of humans. Cyril placed a hand on the main console. Humans, you have changed the galaxy today. Not with weapons, but with willpower, understanding, and care. The ship and you will be remembered. Jack nodded, watching the stars pass by. We'll keep learning, we'll keep protecting. Humans survive, and now so does this ship. Claire looked at the distant systems on the holographic map. The galaxy is vast, but humans and this ship, together we can face it. Cyril smiled faintly. Together, yes. Humans and the ship. Knowledge preserved, technology alive, courage recognized. The galaxy will remember. Hours passed as they traveled through space. The ship moved with grace, guided by the hands and minds of humans. Jack and Claire had learned to trust their instincts, to adapt to alien systems, and to survive against enemies far stronger than themselves. The first stars they passed were familiar from ancient records. Systems once explored by Cyril's people were now visible, and the knowledge preserved within the ship glowed brightly. Jack realized that humans had not only saved the ship, but they had become part of its history, part of a story that had waited centuries to continue. Cyril's eyes reflected the stars. The galaxy underestimated humans. Now it knows. Persistence, creativity, courage, these are your weapons. You survive, and in surviving, you change the story. Jack smiled faintly. We don't need to be the strongest. Humans survive because we never give up. We fix what is broken, we adapt, we endure, that's all it takes. Claire placed a hand on the console. And now we're taking it further. Humans and this ship together, unstoppable. Cyril nodded. Yes. Humans will carry knowledge, preserve history, and survive where others fail. The galaxy will notice, and humans will continue. The ship pulsed with energy, warm and alive, a living bridge between past and future. Jack and Claire had proven that humans could guide, protect, and endure. The stars stretched ahead, full of mystery and danger but also possibility. Jack looked at the endless expanse of space. We're ready. Whatever comes, we survive. Humans always survive. Cyril smiled softly. And the galaxy will remember. As the ship soared into the stars, leaving the frozen planet behind, humans and alien technology moved together, a partnership forged in trust, courage, and persistence. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Jack and Claire had begun a journey that would reshape the universe. The ship carried knowledge, the story of lost civilizations, and the lessons of survival. Humans, small and fragile on a frozen planet, had awakened a legend, guided it through danger, and proven that persistence, creativity, and courage could change the fate of the stars. Outside, the void of space stretched endlessly. Inside, the ship pulsed with life, a living testament to the bond between human and alien. The adventure was only beginning, but for the first time in centuries, the ship had a chance to fulfill its mission. Guided by humans, it would move across the galaxy, preserving knowledge, surviving threats, and showing the universe that even the smallest beings could shape the stars. Jack sat back, exhausted but proud. We did it. Humans survived and the ship survived. Together. Claire smiled, leaning on the console. Humans never give up. The galaxy just learned that lesson. Cyril's eyes glowed softly. Yes, humans survive, and in surviving they protect, they guide, and they endure. The story continues. The stars passed by, infinite and beautiful. The ship moved forward, alive and vibrant, guided by human hands. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humans awakened a legend, proved their value, and began to shape the future. Humans had survived the ice, awakened the ancient ship, defended it from enemies, and now carried it into the stars. The universe had learned something new. When humans are involved, even the impossible can live, endure, and thrive. And with that, Jack, Claire, and Cyril sailed into the unknown, ready for whatever awaited them. A human mechanic and an alien intelligence, together shaping the destiny of the galaxy.